name of Callan Murray. He's currently in quarantine and he's set to make his mark on South Australia very soon. He's good enough to join us on the line. Welcome to South Australia, Callan, and I'm sure you must be looking forward to getting out of quarantine very soon.
Yeah, thanks so much. Just past the halfway mark and yeah, I can't wait for it to be over.
So you're no stranger to racing in Australia. You obviously spent a bit of time here in Victoria with Lindsay Park and David Hayes a few years ago, but what was the catalyst for this move this time around?
Yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed my last stint here, and South Africa was going great, but racing isn't going as well. And I really loved Australia, so I thought that it was a place that I could probably call home with some time. So, yeah, I was very excited to have the opportunity to come over.
So, Callan, you're currently in quarantine. You've got about a week to go. How long until South Australian punters will see you on a racetrack over there?
Yeah, so I'll be out next Wednesday, the 18th of August. I'll start track work on the Friday after I've done all my medicals, and I might just give it a week, start racing the next weekend just to get fit and, yeah, don't want to be rusty.
Are there any particular stables that you will be riding for initially? Have you made contact with any, or are you just going to hit the ground running and see what opportunities present themselves?
Yeah, I haven't made too much contact necessarily, just because I wasn't 100% sure when I could start riding. But I think I'd prefer to do a lot of it in person. So yeah, I'll head to the tracks and just show my face and get to work.
So, Callan, how long have you been riding for back home in South Africa, and how'd you get into the sport?
Yeah, so I started at the academy 9 years ago, and that was a 5-year apprenticeship. To be honest, I had no family in racing, nothing to do with it at all, and a family friend was a steward, and he suggested to try it. I was obviously a lot shorter at the time, so I thought it would be a good idea. Become a bit more challenging now, but yeah, I don't look back at all.
And you had a fantastic day out in the saddle, riding 3 Group 1 winners on a single race card. Tell us about how that came about.
Yeah, so it was a few months after my stint here, my first season as a professional jockey, and I'd ridden my first Group 1 about a month before that. Obviously went to races with a good book of rides, and everything seemed to go to plan. In the 4th Group 1 on the day, I ran second, so it was really amazing. I'll be honest, like in the moment, it was fantastic, but I probably didn't realise that it would be extremely difficult to do that again.
That's the beauty of youth, and I suppose the excitement that you would have brought at that stage. You also spent a bit of time in Hong Kong. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was fantastic. My first stint went very well, managed to grab some group races and have a bit of success. And I then came back to South Africa for a year and decided to try and make the move to Hong Kong more permanently. But unfortunately, things didn't really go my way. But it was probably the first time in my career that that's happened. So it was very humbling and also good to learn from that side, from a completely different aspect of, you know, trying to just work your way to get some rides and do whatever you can. So it was quite a tough time the second time round, but great learning curve.
Callan, you mentioned before that South African racing is struggling a little bit. What issues is the sport facing over there?
Yeah, look, I think we had a bit of a hit with COVID, and there's a few issues with the operators and that sort of thing, which I won't get into because I don't really know the finer details. But there is a fantastic team working towards getting South African racing better, and I have no doubt they'll be able to do that. But I just did see a brighter future for myself in Australia. And
what, with your first stint in Australia, obviously you were still an apprentice and you're quite new to not only the game, but new to the scene here in Australia. What did you take out of your first stint here, and sort of what was it about Australian racing that really lured you back?
Yeah, look, I think it's probably the culture of racing. You know, everyone enjoys it and there's so many people involved, and I found it really exciting. Obviously, a lot of racing going on, and it was very different to back home. So I learned a lot. Tracks are tight. Got to keep the momentum up, and so I learned a lot from the experience, and I just genuinely enjoyed my time here. Everyone was great and accommodating, and was very excited to be able to come back.
Callan, comparing South African racing and how they ride here in South Australia, are you going to need to change your riding style at all, or do you think what you've been doing back home will be effective here in South Australia?
Yeah, I think I'll have to change it a little bit, in terms of the tracks are a bit tighter, got to keep momentum, no false rails. So there's a bit more to it, but you know what, I'll just try to do what comes naturally to me. That's generally what's worked for me, but obviously with a bit of work behind the scenes so that I know exactly what I'm doing.
Being a jockey, a lot of things revolve around weight. How do you go about keeping your weight at a suitable level in hotel quarantine?
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's been fairly tough, but I've been put into a great hotel and they've been very accommodating with my meals and managed to get a bike. I've done as much as I can, but probably not as happy as I would want to be with it, but it's all right. I'll get onto it and keep on trying, and it'll be down very soon.
So obviously you're going to be based in Adelaide, with Racing South Australia being a big part of sort of bringing you out to Australia. But will there be the opportunity in time to sort of branch out if the opportunities present to come across to Victoria or even travel further interstate?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to do that. I think for now Adelaide's a great base for me, and I'm very excited to start out here and sort of set a foundation here, and I'll just sort of go wherever it takes me, and I definitely love to be traveling a bit.